Welcome to this special interview on Arabiya English. I'm Joanne Serrieh. Today we're in Riyadh for the LIV Golf season opener, and I'm joined by LIV Golf CEO Scott O'Neill. Scott,
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thanks
and
for having
welcome
me.
back to Arabiya English, actually.
Yes, it's terrific.
So this is not only the LIV Golf season opener, you're marking 1 year since you became CEO. Can you reflect on the past year?
Well, it's the most fun I've ever had. Walking into a new industry, one that is so rooted in tradition and history, has been quite a blessing. And when you merge that with some of the great superstars in the world like Bryson DeChambeau and Jon Rahm and Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson and Cam Smith, you have the opportunity for some magic. And having spent most of my career in the US, the opportunity to travel the world, the opportunity you have to go to Riyadh and then Australia and Hong Kong and Singapore, and the UK and South Africa and Mexico, it feels like kind of the opportunity of a lifetime. And to see a sport like golf, one that is so rooted in helping develop and evolve our values. And for me, I know you don't golf much yet, but I know there's opportunity. I know for me, I find humility out there. It's a very difficult game. Resilience, consistency, hard work, this notion of that focus on the flag mentality, that you have somewhere to go, a place to go, and you go get it. There's all those great values that we've seen this great game go around the world and help drive. I think it makes the world a little bit better.
And you've actually been in charge of some incredible franchises in the past. We were just talking about the NBA, New York Knicks, Philadelphia 76ers, you were with the NFL, the NHL. Are the fundamentals of your role the same despite changing to golf, coming from basketball and American football? How has that transition been for you?
Well, running a sports league is very different from running a sports team, that's for sure. There's so many different demands and interactions on my time and effort. But the actual fundamentals of the business are almost exactly the same. You have to manage your brand, you have to drive impact in the community, you have to figure out what your media strategy is now, what social media and traditional media strategies. You have to sell sponsorships and tickets, and generally create a world-class experience. And that's one thing I would like to take full credit for, but I will tell you, this team here at LIV Golf, when I walked in and saw this first experience at Riyadh Golf Club last year, and the team here, Noah, does an absolutely amazing job, not only with Golf Saudi, it's one of his properties here. So when you walk on site, you understand what world-class looks like. It's been pretty incredible. And
you did mention we are at Riyadh Golf Club right now. This is the second year where the venue has held the first tournament of the season. Is this a permanent fixture?
Look, we will be in Riyadh until the end of time. This is an emerging golf market, absolutely. If you come out and see and experience LIV Golf in Riyadh, you will see like nothing you've ever quite seen before. It's live at night, so we play under the lights, which is really special and very unique to golf. It's the only major tournament ever to be played under the lights. There's a carnival-like atmosphere. There's an incredible family zone. There's a laser light show at night. I mean, it is something absolutely spectacular. And we have an incredible lineup of concerts. So whether you love golf and you're a hardcore golfer, whether you're just learning to play, whether you watch it on television, whether you watch Bryson DeChambeau on YouTube videos, or whether you're just interested in coming out with your friends or family and have a good time, this is the place to be.
And so would you say Saudi Arabia is becoming like a golfing hub? Is the game growing here?
Well, I'd rather say it's more like my second home. I spend quite a bit of time here and absolutely love it. I've fallen in love with the people, the culture, the experiences. This notion of a hospitality mindset is actually spectacular. And in terms of what Golf Saudi, I mentioned Noah Alireza before. He's on our board at LIV Golf, and he's charged with growing this game. And he was walking me through. They've got 7 more courses that they're about to build here. It's a market of opportunity and growth, and it's certainly one of the fastest growing golf markets in the world.
And you did mention that LIV season opener is played under the lights. How does that change things for players? Does it make it hard to gauge distances? Does it make depth perception more difficult? What's the experience like?
I got my second taste of golf under the lights last night playing in the Pro-Am. And so I can tell you, for the players, these are world-class athletes. For amateurs like me that are just trying to survive and get through a round, it's a bit challenging. It definitely impacts depth perception. There's some shadows that are quite different, but I think that the team at LIV has done such an extraordinary job setting us up for success. it's as if you're in almost every hole. It's like playing in the day. I love the backdrop of the night. I love watching the sunset when I went out. So it has the beauty and starkness of the night. But I think our players will be just fine.
So 2026 will be LIV's most global season yet. 14 events across 10 countries, 5 different continents. How essential is it for you to grow the game of golf?
Well, it's kind of what gets us out of bed in the morning. It's our mission to grow the game of golf. To be able to go from Asia and Europe, Middle East, Africa, North America, Australia in one season, it is, I hope you can tell by the smile on my face, it's just exciting and fun. And this notion of you know, and sometimes these jobs can be difficult and sometimes they can be challenging, and occasionally travel can get you feel like a bit of a grind. And I just always think of like those little kids at these events, and they're starstruck and they're looking up at these incredible stars. And Sergio Garcia will go up and take a selfie, or Waco Neiman will go up and give a little kid a hug. And I just think like those kids, they're the future of the sport. Maybe some of them will be great players. Maybe they'll just be incredible fans, or maybe they'll be lifelong golfers. But these touches and moments you have with some of the greatest stars in the world, those are the types of moments that spark interest and greatness. And I think that mission is so pure.
So there are some changes. LIV tournaments will now move to 4 days of competition, 54 holes to 72. What's the reason behind these changes?
Well, you know, I will say like there's so much opportunity to grow. Whenever you're part of a business that's only 4 years old, you know, we wake up every morning and it feels like we ask ourselves, the first question we ask ourselves in the morning is, what if? You know, what if we change? And we have the ability and the flexibility and the freedom to go try and test, and sometimes succeed and sometimes trip and fall. And having a chairman like Yasser Al-Rumayyan, who's I feel like he's if not the greatest leader in the world, and certainly one of the most wonderful people in the world. You know, we are empowered. We are certainly guided and led and inspired, but we have this chance to go try and test new things. And for us, this is such an evolution of progress. And I think you've just started to see the early beginnings of what's going to be the most dominant global sports league in the world.
And prize money has also been enhanced this year. Individual purses remain at substantial $20 million per event. Team prize money has doubled from $5 million to $10 million per tournament. That's quite an incentive to do well.
It sure is. It's certainly a wonderful day to be a professional golfer, and certainly a LIV golfer. I think that what we've been able to see and experience, one is we've been able to attract some of the greatest stars in the game, both the legends, the superstars of today and the superstars of tomorrow. The second piece on team prize money is very interesting. It's interesting in that it will help our teams become profitable quicker. And as we've had so much inbound interest in acquiring stakes in our teams, that we've actually just hired a bank and we're actually taking inbound conversations. And so all of this work, all of the incredible players, the world-class events, the getting to travel the world, the creating actually value in businesses with the teams for the first time in golf is a pretty exciting opportunity.
And onto the news of the official World Golf rankings. We've seen some movement from the OWGR, but with points limited to the top 10 in the LIV games. So that means LIV remains more restricted than other tours. 5 seasons in, what do you think is driving this continued restriction?
Well, I remember reading a book when I was in high school called A Tale of Two Cities. And the book opens with a great line. It says, it was the best at times, it was the worst at times. And I think any time you were trying to insert yourself into change, and in particular in a very traditional sport, there's sometimes resistance. And that has to be okay. Like, that's what we signed up for, that's what we understand. And in terms of world ranking points, what a great testament. You know, we have some of the people who have the most to lose, the 2 tours that have the most to lose in the world are actually voting members on that group. Can you imagine? The commissioner of the PGA, the head of the DP World Tour. And so from our perspective, you know, what a great vote of confidence for them to say, okay, we'll give you points. Now, on the other hand, it's a bit unprecedented, you know. In every other event that they have across the, hundreds of tours that they sanction, if there are no cuts, only 15% of the field gets no points. In our case, it's 82% of the field. So that didn't feel great, and I'm hoping that this is the first step of many steps up the flight of stairs where we'll actually be ranked and recognized where we actually should be, which I think is the greatest, deepest, most talented, strongest strength of field international golf in the world.
And what about the LIV Golf PGA Tour merger? Are negotiations still happening on that? And where are we? Where are we with that?
The PGA Tour is a tremendous tour. I think their entire focus is on the U.S. So, strategically it would make sense if we're the dominant tour outside the U.S. And we continue to have talks back and forth. Sometimes they heat up, sometimes they slow down. But our entire focus right now is starting this season.
And let's switch gears a bit and talk about social media. You did mention that earlier. It's been a year since golf YouTuber Rick Shields signed with LIV as the content ambassador, and the access he's been given directly to players is incredible. And then you have Bryson has his channel with his Future Break 50. Ian Poulter has started his own YouTube channel. How is social media growing not only LIV's profile, but the game of golf online?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing for the first time in golf, for sure, as you're seeing most of the personalities who matter have congregated into one league, and that's LIV. And with that, there's so much personality and so much fun. And social media, in particular YouTube, golf has absolutely taken off, but their Instagram channels are just as good. Phil Mickelson's another one. He's 55 years old, and he's embraced Grant Horvath and grown his channel at a rapid rate. And so I think it really, it's fun, and sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's instructive, but probably most importantly to me is it locks in right on our mission, and that's to grow the game. And so sometimes we grow the game by the incredible fans that'll come out this weekend. Other times we'll, traveling in the airport, we'll meet fans. Other times it's during practice rounds we get the chance to reach, or an event with kids in one of our impact arm. And sometimes it's social media. And however we can inspire the next generation of golfers in the world, we're 100% for.
And recently you've announced sponsorship agreements with global heavyweights, HSBC, Rolex. These are long-standing pillars of elite golf. How important are these types of partnerships?
For a young 4-year-old league, that's a pretty hefty endorsement, And I'd add Aramco and Salesforce to those two, and those are 4 heavyweight powerhouse brands. And what they've each told us in a different way is it's very hard to find a truly global property. Outside of Formula One, we sometimes say we're the Formula One of golf, because it's really the only analogy. As we go market to market around the world and offer high-end experiences, high-end hospitality, incredible, unmatched business-to-business opportunities. And golf is one of those sports that's a little different. It's the most powerful sport in the world. I'd argue the most important sport in the world. And that's the case because most CEOs play golf. Most leaders around the world play golf. And as we go to Korea, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, what's really interesting is we find the leaders there, leaders of the free world. It's pretty fun.
And what do you see for Saudi Arabia's future in terms of golf?
Well, for us, this will always be considered our most showcased event. I think when you have this kind of passion and dedication, interest, and a growing, emerging golfing base, I think this is going to be emerging as one of the hot spots for golf in the world.
And a fun question, who are you backing to win this weekend?
Okay.
Individual and team title.
Individual, I will say Jon Rahm. He was 1 stroke off the lead last year, missed a short putt that would have pushed, so I'm sure he's a bit aggravated. He's very fiery. And from a team end, Torquay, I think they're the favorites this week for me.
And before we wrap up, what's your message to the younger generation who maybe doesn't know much about golf but has a huge potential to get into the game, and those who are interested and they don't know maybe where to start, what to do? What do you say?
Well, I would say to the youth, I would say that you've seen participation and activity in the kingdom grow dramatically over the last 5 years with some really interesting initiatives coming through the government. Golf is a wonderful sport, okay? It will challenge your patience. It will build your humility. It will test your character. It allows you to play with your mom and dad, or your son and daughter all together. You know, so it's a multi-generational opportunity. It gets you outside in the beautiful sun, or sometimes under the lights like we play. And I think that if you haven't done it, you should give it a try.
And before we wrap up, last question, anything else you'd like to share? Any surprises, anything coming up that we can expect?
The only thing I would say is, if you have not been to a golf event, you need to come here. You know, we are here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We are under the lights. It starts at 6 o'clock. If you love concerts, come. If you like a festival atmosphere, come on. We even have some amusement park rides. I mean, there is nothing like LIV Golf, and I'd love to see you here.
Scott O'Neill, thank you so much for joining us. I really hope to see you again on Arabiya English.
I can't wait.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having me.